Hey guys, this is not a build guide, but a quick heads up on the build I'm playing right now, which is Shattering Palm Invoker. I want to quickly showcase a little bit about how the build looks, and then I'm gonna explain passive tree, gems, etc. So just stay tuned for 2 minutes, and I will try to give all the relevant information in the first 2 minutes. But basically, you're mostly one-button clearing with this, and you have some insane interactions with basically you are recreating Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder from 0.1, let's be real. And yeah, you see, it's obviously worse than Lightning Spear. This is not my thought process behind it. I was just sick of playing Lightning Spear. I don't know, it's trivializing the game too much, as weird as it sounds, but I like to work towards something, and when Lightning Spear on very, very low budget already clears everything, basically, it's a little bit meh. Now, as you can see, I'm meditating. I'm overflown on Energy Shield, right? And I have a lot of Energy Shield as well. So obviously this build is also, right now as it is, hardcore build. You can basically do what I do. Take less defense and you will deal a lot more damage. I do not have a boss in this map. I can maybe show on a rare. The DPS on this build is not insane on single target as it is right now. I think realistically, in a good scenario, you're maybe around 600 to 700k with my current setup. But the mapping is kind of satisfying, even though it's a way more active playstyle than throwing one spear that chains everywhere. Because you kind of still have to aim where you're going. I mean, it kind of self-chains afterwards, but you see, you still have to aim where you're going. Right. So, as I already said, single target. This Shattering Palm thing is not dealing single target, but the second big ability use is Frozen Locus. Frozen Locus is an ability, as well as Shattering Palm, that both do not use your weapon. Okay, that's very important. So I'm showing the passive tree and the gems real quick. So Frozen Locus and Shattering Palm do not use your weapon. Now the interesting thing is you can just pause and look at everything with the jewels, passive tree, and gems, etc. I'm just gonna give all the information real quick. As I said, I'm going to do an actual build guide at some point. I'm actually gonna do a little editing, or I have a person that can help me a little bit out with that. And I'm gonna do actually a high quality thing. This is just the bare bones of the build that I wanna show real quick, okay? So TLDR, we are using a build that Shattering Palm, Frozen Locus both do not use our weapon. So our weapon is elemental damage with attacks plus level 2 gems. Both these stats are the only stats that actually give you single target. However, I also have a lot of physical damage, as you guys can see here. That physical damage is purely for map clear and for my Herald of Thunder and for my Voltaic Mark, okay? I want to explain this build real quick. So, Shattering Palm, you dash somewhere. I can actually show it in my hideout. That's cool. So, I obviously meditate always before battle to have more ES. And you put down a Frozen Locus. Frozen Locus is an entity. You cannot run over it. You cannot phase through it. It's actually going to be something that stands in between. Frozen Locus has HP. You can kill it, and it explodes. And let me show you with Hand of Chayula. When it explodes, it has some kind of small AoE. That is also because I have Conk Effect in here. But it is not that big of an explosion. But that explosion deals quite substantial damage. Yeah. Right now I'm already at 300k, but I also have Ice Bite and a lot of conditionals that can be met to increase my damage. Frozen Locus is explained, kind of, right? You can kill it. Enemies can kill it, and a lot of enemies, I did not yet figure out 100% what causes it, but if you put down a Frozen Locus, let's say Rock is an enemy, if you put it here, it auto-explodes instantly. That happens not with every enemy, but with a lot of enemies, okay? The single target is make this Frozen Locus explode. As I said, a lot of bosses, I don't know, King in the Mist, for example, you just put down the Frozen Locus under him and it instantly explodes. Zesht, however, I think it's maybe something with hitbox. Maybe Zesht has a smaller hitbox and then it doesn't instantly explode and then you need to kill it yourself. But that's basically the single target. So what you want to do is basically on a boss where it auto explodes, you Hand of Chayula to the boss, because Hand of Chayula, you dash unarmed again. You are inflicting a mark that you socket to it. Yeah. And that's all I do. I have Rage, Inspiration, and Blind here. You dash to an enemy with Hand of Chayula on single target and just Frozen Locus. If you, however, fight a rare monster and you're not normally mapping, you use Shattering Palm, because Shattering Palm, you see here, has this AoE thing around, and that's gonna clear. Shattering Palm, next ability to explain, you have this AoE shit and you see this wave. The wave is very important. The wave is, imagine it as stun priming. Every enemy that is getting hit by this wave basically is getting primed, but not for stun, but for Herald of Ice Explosion. Something like this. Basically, you inflict a debuff on an enemy that makes the enemy explode, and this explosion chains off each other. Every enemy that is in this AoE here is like that. And then, you maybe saw that in the beginning of a video, how it then chains off from enemy to enemy. I'm going to ignore that trait for the video. Just do not do that yourself, guys. So Shattering Palm works like that. It's clear, and it is at some point good enough to clear. However, the chaining is not infinite. It's not even that big. We have something that helps us with clearing, and that is the tech down here, Cast on Freeze. Shattering Palm deals cold damage, a lot of it, because we scale it with gem level. And Cast on Freeze triggers whenever we freeze enemies, we gain energy, and it triggers Voltaic Mark. And just read Nova. Basically, Voltaic Mark, attack damage based ability. So this uses all your attack damage, including your weapon. And whenever you are shocking an enemy, I think, mark a target, making them shock. When you kill an enemy, this Lightning Nova erupts. Lightning Nova erupts, deals base lightning damage, plus takes your weapon and all the flat damage you have everywhere. The Nova is lightning damage. Lightning damage triggers Herald of Thunder. Herald of Thunder deals also based on your attack damage, so weapon, flat damage everywhere, crit, all of these things. Herald of Thunder deals lightning damage as well, but we can make it again freeze enemies. Glaciation, cold infusion, glaciation, a lot of flat cold damage if you can. So, I mean, I don't have that much flat cold damage anymore. But Herald of Thunder then freezes enemies again. The freeze triggers Cast on Freeze again, triggers Voltaic Mark again, triggers the Nova again, triggers the lightning damage. The lightning damage triggers Herald of Thunder. You know where it's going. We are back to Herald of Thunder and Herald of Ice, basically. Just worse. But you can invest into a lot of freeze. You already see the chain, right? If you deal more lightning damage, you're going to trigger more Herald of Thunder. If you trigger more Herald of Thunder, and the Herald of Thunder is better at freezing, you're going to deal more damage with the Herald of Thunder. It's going to freeze more people. You guys get where it's going. So when you want to have better clear and you feel like the clear looks worse than what Sarge just said in the video, just invest into these things. You can always take freeze build-up. That's also what I took here. You can take this as well. Freeze build-up will always work and make the clear better. Feel it out and enjoy. So the scaling of damage, as I said, gem levels, gem levels, gem levels. But my gear is good, but not insane at all, right? This could be +3. There is also a corruption. This could be +3. You could have way better flat damage here instead of the evasion rating. You could have flat damage instead of a mana here. And my gear is like good, but not insane. Basically TLDR right now. And that's how the build looked like. This staff also, probably a lot of people looked at this staff. A lot of you guys looked at this and were like, wait, I mean, bro, it's week 3. Are you poor or what? I think it's all kind of affordable and it works. It's also not even +7, right? In an ideal world, you want to have plus level 2 gems as much as possible, and then we scale it with crit damage. Also, this is some comfortable stuff for mapping. But yeah, you can basically embrace Monk playstyle. You can basically jump around, and it is a very active playstyle, even though at some point you one-button clear, as I said like before, right? We one-button clear with Shattering Palm if possible, but if you do not have enough damage with that, you always do like Shattering Palm to an enemy and Frozen Locus away instantly. Shattering Palm to an enemy and Frozen Locus away. Now you see mana is a big problem. It is because we scale gem levels. I have this mana region mod and mana remnants. Oh my goodness. Mana remnants. 30 spirit. But holy, it's insane. Holy, it's insane. While mapping, like, look at this mana cost. While I'm mapping with this, I'm already out of mana in my hideout. The mana remnants are totally enough for me to sustain mana. I barely press my mana flask while mapping. However, bossing is always a problem with mana, and that's kind of something that you need to solve. Reduce mana cost of abilities, reduce cost here, mana flask, but all of that, feel it out. I'm gonna do a big guide in which I go into detail with all the different possibilities and blah blah blah, but this is it for now. I am probably going to make a POB real quick where I just copy paste my character or a Mobalytics link in the description. Or maybe tomorrow, maybe but just look into the video description for everything written down, I guess. And yeah, thanks for watching, boys. Build guide coming soon at some point. It's still, there's still a few things I want to cook and all of that stuff, but that's it for now.